Join Akinloye on CradleRadio. Every weekday and join Akinloye on CradleRadio.
Good morning, people. Good morning, world. Good morning. Sometimes I just get ahead of myself, son. Oh my God. Oh my God! I gotta figure out if we're connected to CradleRadio, right? So we could all be on the same page. Good morning, if you're just joining me for the very first time. I appreciate it. I like it. Thank you so very much. I just gotta give me a second in here. Just try to find out if we're on CradleRadio. I like monitoring it myself. I like getting to know that we're all on those different channels as well. It just makes my life easier, right? It makes my life more interesting and just the way I like to have it. All right, and that's why it's necessary. All right. Good morning. If you're just hearing me for the very first time on Cradle Radio, I know I introduced the show already, slightly. And that's just still not connecting. What's wrong with this phone? I try to find out what's going on in different places all at the same time. I'm hearing myself back in here. Wait one second, and we'll be on the same page at the end of the day right now. I love when I gotta just, gotta handle all of this all at the same time. Okay, we're good. What did I do again? Okay, all right, I think we're still all right. It's a lot of combinations. It's a lot of here, go there, get there, come here, all in one. What's wrong with this one now? Okay, I like it. Now we're live. Now we're good. We're good in all the areas that I want us to be good from. If you're watching us for the very first time, this is Canada.
Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akinloye on Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio. This is Cradle Radio. This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
I love when that signpost comes in. Love it. I always say this in the morning hour. It's nothing like being grateful. Grateful for the gift of life. Grateful for things that have come my way. Grateful for elements that I see around me. Grateful for things that makes me happy. Grateful for things that I'm learning from each and every day. Might necessarily not get me elated. Attitudes of people as well. I'm grateful for understanding individuals more and more each and every day. I'm grateful for the understanding of the innate intricacies of our lifestyles. It's not too complex, right? No, it's not too complex to comprehend. I'm grateful for awareness. I'm grateful for logical reasonings. I'm grateful for patience, which at a point of my, years gone by, when I was younger, I'm not a 65-year-old or something, all right? But when I was, in that frame of being called a young man, which I'm not right now. Because you say young man, you look at all those, upcoming and all that. It's good, full of energy, vibrancy. So, during those years, probably wasn't patient. I was kind of patient, but not to the level that I am right now. So I'm grateful for what I have been able to resonate with now. And not only that, I'm grateful for, how would I put this one now? I'm grateful for humble beginnings and the realization of a better tomorrow. And who am I throwing all this gratitude to? Oh, definitely my creator. My creator speaks with me, talks with me in my sleep, in my daytime, and still voice. In a still voice, it It's my meditative moment right here, so bear with me if you're just joining us for the very first time and you're wondering, what is he saying? It's just me communicating. I love to commune with my creator, my God. That's right. That's right. I pushed this down a little bit. Hopefully, we're booming on all throttle. I'm grateful, and I will remain grateful. I bet you if my mama was here right now, she'd be happy, huh? Hey, my son going preaching. I'm preaching, mama. I'm just acknowledging the fact. Wherever you are in the spiritual realm, okay? Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. I remember as a young lad, my mama used to want to draw me back to, to the religious houses and all that. And I'll say no. But now, as a matter of fact, I understand better. And I know better. And communicating and communing with your God doesn't necessarily mean, to me, going somewhere to do that. I see things clearly now, real clearly. One of the prayers that I pray every time, because you say things that recycles over time, is the fact that, and I pray this prayer every time, all right? This is not some religious show, so don't get me wrong. This is Canada, but this is my moment where I just, spew out my meditative thoughts into the air. I'd always pray that the way people that Moses served, people that Moses led out of bondage, the way they allowed Moses not to get to the promised land, I pray it's not my portion. That's my biggest prayer. That's my biggest prayer. You could probably just use that as well. Things as minute, as easy as water. They brought out the beast in that man. Everything recycles over time, I tell you. It ain't gonna happen on my watch. No. Good morning, people. This is Canada, all right? This is Canada as a show flagship from Cradle And what we do around here is having to showcase things happening around Canada. So, socio-political, economical, cultural, if we can find any of that, we'll bring it to your hearing and your viewership as well, so that you can be able to be a contributor into happenings around you. That's if you're living in Canada. Now, if you're not living in Canada, topics that we talk about as well might resonate with you. And you might probably think, oh yeah, that's true. It's happening here too. Definitely. So you could use that as a guideline as well in your own part of the world. So it's not a show is called This is Canada, but I tell you, everything is so similar these days. So on the news yesterday, what happened in Hong Kong with that building being burnt down. As at the time I flipped through the news, it was 40 people dead and hundreds missing. It's a huge building as well, so want to extend our commiseration with the people of Hong Kong this morning, all right? Because we know we're there as well. We've got friends in there that send us emails and all that from that part of the world. It's a sad thing, but we'll pray that there could still be opportunity to rescue more people. The building is huge. Having said that, I'll come back home this morning. It's 10:20 a.m. Eastern Time in the city of Waterloo in Canada, in the province of Ontario in Canada. My name is Akiloye. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. I threw out from the stable. We threw out what's it called yesterday? A reel about culture, and boom, he just within an hour, he just like boom, it exploded. And wow, I didn't even know that was gonna catch fire like that. Rhetorically, people, rhetorically. So, what are we talking about this morning? I like to go easy on a Thursday, being the last day of a week on This Is Canada. Thursday it is. Thursday we'll wrap it up for the week, and we rest the beat on Friday, and then we go ahead and restart on a Monday. Mondays through Thursday, that's the time bell for the show, and it's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Actually, it's 9 a.m. It's belted as 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. 9 a.m. being a time frame where it's a musical, we used to call it a fill-up, but this is not a fill-up, but a build-up. A musical build-up to get you ready, to get you in the mood for what's about coming. So 10 or 11, it's a talk time on This Is Canada. And whenever you're here, 10 a.m. to 11, that's a talk time on This Is Canada. And whenever you're here, you could be a part of this at any point in time, however you want it. You need to be a part of our family. And when I mean our family, join our social media handles. I haven't done that. Yes, you would have direct access into what we're talking about. Comments. And in coming weeks and months, we'll be having phone calls on the show as well. Yeah, I could run it, but a whole lot of people has been sending me messages. They want to talk. And they can type. So we would accommodate that as well. We're working hard towards getting that to happen. So being a Thursday, what I said to my team and I will be that I should go easy, all right? We're going to go easy. And when we decided to go easy, I found something that was really, really interesting. Hence, you'll see from the... Did I even put this on? Okay, let's see whether we have this. All right, let's see whether we have this. Bottle Battle in Ontario. That's what we call this one this morning. Bottle, like bottle. Bottle, yeah, you drink water and all that? Bottle Battle in Ontario. That's right. Have you ever sat down or sitting on your porch and you realize that you have people gathering cans and bottles, sometimes from your bin, and you wonder because the people that are gathering this stuff, some come in pretty expensive cars. That's right. They come around and you look at, oh my God, are you picking bottles? At first, I thought it was about. Environmental awareness. That's what I thought about it initially. But somebody told me at a point, like, listen, those people make a lot of money doing it. Those people make a lot of money gathering bottles and having to take it to the beer store. In Ontario, that's what we do. It's a form of recycle that allows you to bring back your bottles or cans. And when you're doing that, you get a refund of some sort, paltry sum. But when you add it up, especially for young kids, it could pile up. If you know what you're doing, it could even pile up even better if you save enough for it. Buy yourself sneakers or something. You never know, right? So, or otherwise, you're just going to have a whole lot of bottles and cans in your garage or wherever you store your empties. It's a process in Ontario that allows you to get token when you bring back those bottles. It's standard. You go to the beer store, you give it back, they credit you with a beer store credit. You do that. I know that for sure. Yeah, I got a lot of bottles in there. So there's a major shakeup which is brewing in the province recycling world. A new agreement could let grocery stores walk away from accepting your beer and wine empties. Yeah, because at a point, having to sell beer, wine, or liquor shifted from having it regulated towards the LCBO and the beer store. So you could go to any of those this shopping lines and you could get whatever you want there. I just don't want to mention names because they're not advertising yet. Until they do that, we'll probably be mentioning their names. So, all right, so here we go. Where is it? So, at the end of the day, you could, from where you bought it, you could take your cans back or your bottles and you get a refund. If you pile it up real good, you could get good money. But there's a chain that could reshape convenience, cost, and even the future of recycling in Ontario. And that's what we're talking about this morning. Hence, we call it Bottle Battle in Ontario. I'm going to put this right on screen so you can understand what I'm talking about. When we're talking about drinking this morning. We're talking about fall off from drinking, fall off from recycling, fall off from different things this morning. And that's what we're looking at as it affects Canada. I don't know. I know that basically back in the U.S., back in the day, whatever bottles or cans that you have, you take it back to another chain, and you get a receipt of some sort that can earn you money. You know, some people go around with doing that, and most importantly, it's more about not. It's a recycling habit that you get remunerated for. That's the way. Now, for years, Ontarians have relied on their local grocers to take back empties through the beer store's deposits return system. A system praised across North America for keeping glass out of landfills. You see that environmental aspect of it? It takes glass out of landfills, but now under a new proposed deal, grocers may soon opt out. People dealing with a lot of stuff in the whole world. In Ontario, we're dealing with a battle of bottles. Does that mean we drink more? Does that mean we drink a lot? I just know that when the holidays around the corner, you don't even want to see them lineups at the LCBO or of the beer store. A beer store. It got so bad that people clamored for having all the chains to be able to sell liquor or beer or whatever your preference is. So you go around even in the convenience store now, you see beers and all that in there. In as much as they have a license. They call it deregulation then. But yeah, it's all about having liquor as a whenever you want it. I think it's a welcome development though, don't get me wrong. Because in the US we used to buy even liquors in the gas station. All right, it all depends on how responsible you are. I don't think people should be regulated. People should grow into being responsible. That's the way I look at things, and that's the way I see things. Whenever and wherever. That's right. Well, your shopping experience might get cleaner, but your recycling run might get longer. That's what we came around with eventually when we saw this. Because grocers say the system has outgrown store spaces and created hygiene, staffing, and logistical headaches. Yeah, I know that when you're taking them bottles even back to the beer store, there's this stench that comes from it. It's not like a horrible stench. It's just like some beer. Or, I don't even know how to define it, but it's just like a smell, not a stench. Actually, it's a smell like a overused or unused or untouched beer that's been opened into a bottle that's not aired. It's just. But anyways, I totally understand the thing about the hygiene. Well, they argue the old collection model no longer matches modern retail. But environmental advocates want that removing grocery stores from the system would lead to lower return rates, more waste heading straight to the trash. Meaning, we might just be having those glasses out on landfills again. Years of a tailored system that takes bottles out of landfills might probably be bringing it back into it. And this is why I say every time that what kind of people were you putting in the office? Because some people just come around with this decisions and ideas. They just come around with it, and what could we say when they come around with it? As you lay your bed, you lie on it. That's just my saying. It is. More waste heading to the trash or to them landfills. Meanwhile, the Ontario government says it wants a simpler, more modern system that eventually brings all alcohol containers, including wine and spirit, under one unified recycling program. Well, if you want to do that, and I'm not criticizing nobody, I'm just saying what's in my mind out this morning. If you want to do that, why don't you create that unified recycling program first? Sometimes you gotta take action, and when you do, people would know that there are alternatives in recycling their bottles. And this is what I want to know, whether this is not a fallout of having to have a backlash. When grocers say we ain't taking no more bottles, it causes a lot of headaches. But here's the tension. If grocers pull out, the beer store could be left carrying far more responsibility and cost. That's just what I think. And consumers might lose a convenience that helped Ontario hit some of the highest return rates in Canada. This is a crossroad. That's definitely a crossroad. Will the province modernize for efficiency, or are we risking a step backward in sustainability? That's a question for you and I, and hopefully a question for the people who decide on these things. And will everyday Ontarians pay the price, either in inconvenience or in environmental fallouts? Those are my questions this morning. I want to know who's gonna bait, who's gonna play the tune, who will be that piper, who will suffer the consequences.
Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akinloye on Cradle Radio.
Because when you look at decisions that have been made, when you look at steps that have been made, My biggest question is, how's the province helping out these grocers from getting those returns facilitated? Because when you have a pile of bottles, used bottles, beer bottles, you don't even want to know how horrible that smell can be. And if you have some of them cans that have not been drained, that's manpower, that's storage, there's so many things. Pollution in a closed space. And these are questions that needs to be asked, because sometimes you might look at it like, oh no, that's a small fry. A breakdown in a system starts in small ways. It starts in small ways where we might just say, no, I don't drink. It's none of my business. I ain't taking calls now, man. I ain't taking calls now. This is a buddy of mine. You know? So, at the end of the day, the big question is it the environment that will suffer such consequences as this? Or is it the people? Because grocers are not taking it, and you gotta just lay that responsibility of the bear store alone. Then it becomes a huge problem. Manpower on the sides of the beer store. Don't forget, some locations of the beer store are being closed already. So you gotta go like 10 clicks from wherever your location is to go return bottles. I'm just curious. And I wanna know. Sometimes people would say, how come you always wanna know? I'm just curious. There's no harm in knowing. And that's when your comments comes in. All right, send in your messages, via through those mediums that we always talked about. We're on practically all social media handles, with the likes of Instagram, the likes of TikTok, the likes of Discord. I like that word, Discord. We're on Twitch as well. We're all Cradle Radio on practically all platforms. Cradle Radio. And Cradle Radio being a radio station, we are having a time belt on that station at this moment to convey your messages and our thought and our programming tailored towards, getting Canada better, if you know what I mean. Okay? And don't forget, you can send us any form of information that you have for us as well. You can send it to info@CradleRadio.com. I'm gonna put that on screen. Is that there already? Okay, we'll check this out and see whether it's there. info@CradleRadio.com. So if you really want to just be a part of this, join in and follow our pages and subscribe to a YouTube channel right now, because we're on YouTube as well. We're beaming live on 3 different channels simultaneously. And so that the reach could be far beyond our imagination as well. I love when that happens. Technology, I love when you utilize technology the way it's meant to be utilized. Let's roll this. So if you have any information for us, it's info@CradleRadio, info@CradleRadio.com. It's Cradle Radio, come on. At Cradle Radio. We'll slam this on screen right now. All right, info@CradleRadio.com. Excellent. So if you have any information for us, you send in your messages via email, info@CradleRadio.com, and that way we could communicate. We could have some form of communication channel being established, and we'll take it from there. Okay? info@CradleRadio.com. What we're talking about this morning is the bottle battle in Ontario. The bottle battle in Ontario. When you say bottle battle, we're not throwing bottles. We're neglecting bottles and cans. As it concerns liquor, beer, alcohol consumers, I'm not gonna say otherwise, man. I don't know about other people, but It's just it's one of those things that makes the world go round. Yeah, I have friends that would say, if you don't drink, I don't talk to you, man. if you don't drink, I ain't talking with you. Because if you're drinking, then I can know who you are. If you don't drink, if you don't do otherwise, no, we can't be friends. I've had people go around and saying stuff like that. That's right. It's just a bottle return. A bottle return. Do you know how many bottles Ontario gathers on a weekly basis? Do you know how many consumers you have from Ontario on a weekly basis? And then it becomes a problem when you need to drive over 10 kilometers to go recycle those bottles. What would you do? You'd rather just put it in the bin and the trash. And it becomes a problem for the landfills, the environment that you always clamor about. Oh, we love the environment. Yeah, let's see how much you love the environment when you can put regular system in place that will help the environment to... what happens to the environment? To grow green or to help the environment, for the environment to be better? Still another right lines. To help the environment. Yes. Imagine them landfills filled with bottles and cans. There's no greenery in there. No. Doesn't matter how much you separate it. If at any point in time bottles are going to landfills, you're still destroying the planet. Bottles going to landfills. What a world we are. And we're still the same set of people who will put money together, who would apportion a huge budgets annually to help the environment. Environmental ministries saying, oh yeah, we need to protect the environment. But simple things that have a ripple effect, that has a chain reaction, we can't even consider before putting those things in place. I really want to know. I'm curious enough to want to know. Stay with me, don't go nowhere.
Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akinloye on Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akinloye on Cradle Radio.
Welcome back. We're still dealing with bottle battle in Ontario this morning on This is Canada. We're coming out into a province of Ontario as the grocers are stating that they might not, come January 1, they might just not want to take in bottles, recycled bottles no more, leaving the job strictly for the beer store, which is still having fewer locations and some locations being closed at the same time. And this are the questions that needs to be addressed from all quarters. You might say, of all the things in the world, is it about bottles that we should be dealing with on a Thursday? Yeah, it's still a part of a system. It's part of a breakdown in a system when actions and decisions that are being brought around could affect the environment, so to say. It's not about having a so to say, it's actually going to affect the environment. Imagine them landfills. You're going in there, you go to some landfills now, you just realize that you see bottles and all that. And those are things that cannot generally be a part of whatever those landfills. Sometimes, I don't work there, but I know that possibly they recycle most of those stuff in separation as well. This goes here, this goes there. And what the beer store and the grocers that have been collecting the cans and bottles have done over time is they've reduced the labor that's used in the separation technique, even in them landfills. So either ways, there's a concentrated way of knowing the bottles are here, they're coming here, and we can recycle them from this point. But at a point where there's a breakdown in that system, what do you think is going to happen? There's going to definitely be a collapse in the return rates. I know that for sure. If grocers pull out and no strong alternative is implemented, Ontario could see a sharp drop in bottle return participation. And this is a province that's being crowned as the recycled capital of Canada, even of North America, because people are so programmed in their ways and their set ways of life that you put a recycle here, you know you got to drop this here and there. And most importantly, too, there are people that earn a wage, $1 or $2 from that. So if somebody knows that there is a grocer that can get the returns on bottles and all that, what kind of person would have to commute 10 kilometers to get to where a beer store is before they can help out in that recycling process? And fewer locations, less convenience, fewer returns. Those are the things that we're going to look at. Those are the things that we will be experiencing. And this means more glass and aluminum ending up in blue bins and landfills. That's right. You would have a lot of aluminums and glasses in them recycle bins. Higher municipal waste handling costs. This thing trickles, all this elements. Like I say every time, there's a chain reaction when such a thing like this does happen and is not properly implemented. More contamination in the recycling system. That's a definite. That's a definite. Increased pressure in municipal recycling systems where blue bin programs are not designed to absorb millions of heavy glass bottles. You're just going to realize that your blue bin's going to just give way at the bottom. It's not retrofitted for that. It's not. If the deposit return system weakens, municipal trucks face more wear and tear. That's right. Glass breaks, lowering the value of other recyclables. Them trucks, it's not like somebody's handpicking stuff in them trucks. The truck's gonna pull up your bin and just throw it in. But when those bottles are broken, what's the point in recycling anyways? Because it's like you're back to square one from the beginning. Cities face higher processing costs, often pass to taxpayers. You're just gonna realize that in this neighborhood of yours, where you have a lot of people drinking or having liquor shops or beer shops or whatever you have, you realize that those neighborhoods with a higher drinking rates might just have their annual taxes shoot up. That's right. Financial strain on the beer store. That's another interesting point, because the beer store networks relies on shared responsibility. If grocers exit, beer store sites may face bottlenecks. Yeah, I don't envy that person working in a beer store at that moment. I don't. Operational costs will skyrocket. Some locations could close. Well, some locations have been designated to close, even way before now. So now tell me about it. Tell me about it. A loss of a North American recycling leader definitely will. Well, if they give trophies for that, then trophies are not coming to Ontario anymore. Ontario currently boasts of one of the highest bottle return rates on the continent. Weakening the system could damage Ontario's environmental reputation. All right, you're not going to get a crown for that now. Make it harder to meet national plastic and glass reduction targets. It create conflicts between industry and government. It would definitely. If only your government or the decision makers or even the business owners who are owners of this grocery table, what their needs are, in what ways they would rather want an intervention so that the program can keep going on through them. I don't want to see a pileup of glasses or bottles or cans, and I know that, Ontario already face rising costs, adding longer lineups, fewer return depots, inconvenient drop-off distances will drive frustration and reduce system participation. The best way forward is create a unified province-wide deposit return system. Bring all alcohol containers, beer, wine, and spirits coolers under a single coordinated program. Clear rules, one operator, one mandate. Did you hear that? Now, I'm giving you this for free, all right? Hopefully the person who's in charge of this mob will listen to this show at any point in time or forward this show to that person. Those are areas in which you look at. Bring, all of this. The best way forward is bringing all alcohol containers, beer, wine, spirits, coolers, under a single coordinated program. Clear rules, one operator, one mandate. Pay grocers properly to stay in the system. If you're not paying them properly, how would you expect grocers to stay in the system? Grocers don't need to be forced. They need better handling fees, clean, compact return tech, predictable logistics support. It's not a case of you making them pile it up for weeks, for months, without you coming over to take it. A small financial incentive may maintain convenience without overwhelming the stores. I really want to know how much the stores get for whatever the quantity of the bottles and cans they get as well. We might just want to know that, Expand return-only depots in urban and suburban areas. Ontario can build more modern solutions, clean depots, automated kiosks. Yes, automated. I just go in there, put it in there, I get my money out. That's right. That's right. High-speed bottle counters. This reduces the burden on supermarkets while keeping convenience. I'm giving you all this for free. I hear another one. Mandatory producer responsibility. Alcohol producers should carry the main cost. That's right. Not taxpayers. This ensures stable funding, better material recovery, accountability if return rates drop. Introduce digital return system. Ontario could lead North America with QR tag bottle tracking, app-based refund deposits or deposits, as the case may be, a smart kiosk. This improves accuracy, reduces fraud. Man. Transparent return rate targets. Set annual targets with penalties for non-compliance. I'm all giving all of this for you for free this morning, and it's as easy as that. If return rates fall, producers and retail must fix the issue, not the public or municipality. Failing to modernize Ontario's bottle return system could send millions of bottles, like we said earlier on, to landfills, drive up municipal waste costs, and dismantle a recycling success story. But with unified rules, better incentives for grocers, and modern return technology, Ontario can build a system that's clean, fair, and future ready. That's my thought process this morning. It's a Thursday. I hope I've been as easy as I can be this morning on This is Canada. My name is Akin Lawyer. Don't forget, you could be a part of this by joining our social media handles on the likes of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, practically all social media handles, Twitch, Discord, name it. We all create a radio on those platforms. We all create a radio in there. And if you have any information for us, like it's stated on the screen, you can write us an email on info@CradleRadio.com. info@CradleRadio.com. I think that's online as well on the screen. And it's been a pleasure doing this. We love having to do this. The week is wrapped up for us from the stables of Cradle Studios, housing Cradle Radio. And no more transmission returns on Cradle Radio. And if you have any suggestions for us, don't forget to reach out. We'll be more than happy to oblige. And what can I say? It's a wrap, people. Stay safe. Keep your bottles where it should be. And don't drink and drive. It's cold out there. Don't have anything in your system that might just disrupt your meaningfulness, if there's a word like that. My name is Akiloy. I'll talk to you guys on Monday morning. Have yourself a blessed week ahead. Bye.
Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akin Lawyer on Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.